You are now listening to 103.5 Dawn FM.
Sometimes you can have anything in the world your heart desires, except the way it used to be. Less than zero.
Do you think that coming out on this podcast is something you feel comfortable doing?
Well, that's just it. I'm not coming out. Like I said, I'm not gay. I'm just attracted to the weekend. Welcome back to Less Than Zero. I'm Christian.
And I'm Hania.
And in case you aren't aware, we're discussing the Weeknd's album, Dawn FM. Today, we're going to be going over what songs?
Sacrifice, Tale by Quincy, and Out of Time.
Correct. Do you want to just jump right into it?
Yeah, I think we should start off with Sacrifice.
I think so too, because that's the next song that is up on the album.
We'll go in order.
Yeah.
All right.
I was born in a city where the winter nights don't ever sleep. So the sense of my veins will never bleed. Love. Love. Every time you try to ease, when you cry for leave, but always sacrificed your love for more of the night. Can't tie me down. I don't wanna sacrifice for your love. I try. I don't wanna sacrifice my time. I hold you through the toughest parts when you feel like it's the end. Cause life is still worth living. Yeah, this life is still worth living. I can break you down and pick you up and fuck like we are friends. Cause always sacrifice your love for more of the night. I try. I don't wanna sacrifice for your love. As burn my time. I don't wanna sacrifice for your love. I try my time. Oh baby, I hope you know that I try. Oh baby, I hope you know I love my time. Oh. I don't wanna sacrifice, but I love my
Almost had it. Okay, right off the bat, let's just... we've touched on this before, but so before when the album first dropped,
Oh my god.
when the album very first came out, me and Nia said like, hey, let's wait until we can listen to it together to actually listen to the whole thing. But to hold us over, we were both like, okay, we can go through the track list, pick just based off of the name, pick one song that we can just listen to as much as we want until we listen to the whole thing together.
Right.
And this was the song that I picked, and that's a pretty solid choice. And what did you pick again? You picked another good one.
Every Angel is Terrifying.
Oh.
Which it is.
Ooh,
Terrifying.
Yeah.
In retrospect. So you and I had a very differing experience of what we thought this album was going to sound like.
Yeah,
Based off of that. And I think after you chose it, maybe because we listened to these songs for like a whole day, and the next day we listened to the album in the evening.
Yeah.
I think at that point he had already announced that Sacrifice was going to be his next single.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The thing about not that this we're gonna get into Sacrifice, but I just have to say this. Okay, the thing about Every Angel is Terrifying, it starts off so good. You probably thought you were in for a treat.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, something happens after like halfway point in that song. Yeah, it takes a little bit of a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really made me confused about what the rest of the album was gonna be like.
Yeah.
And then the more that I listened to it, the worse that it got the second half. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and we had a good like 3-day wait, so that was all you had.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sacrifice. I enjoyed listening to this for those 3 days. It's a fucking banger. What were your first impressions when you heard Sacrifice? Like just right off the bat.
I feel like I knew it was gonna be one of the most popular songs.
Me too.
Because
Yeah.
it was so similar to like Blinding Lights, Take My Breath.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like the next one.
Mm-hmm. It's another one where like I really feel like he steered hard into the 80s sound that he was
Yeah.
going for with this. Okay, when he did After Hours, he like definitely touched on the 80s. And I wondered for this album, I was like, is he going to stick with the 80s thing? Because, I mean, he already did that pretty hard on the last one. I thought, like, he either has to abandon it and go with another, theme or whatever, or he has to just, like, steer into it hard. And when I heard Sacrifice, I was like, oh, he steered into it hard, big time. The guitar that kicks off the song, I immediately recognized it from some Michael Jackson song, but dude, for the life of me, I like can't figure out which one it is. And I've like looked all over the internet. A lot of people think it's Wanna Be Starting Something.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's Thriller. I literally don't think it's any of those. But I know it's some Michael Jackson song. I don't know. Maybe you guys out there can like help us out. But yeah.
Do you want to try playing?
Yeah, okay.
Just to hear some?
Yeah, we'll try playing one.
It should be that.
Thank you. Okay, so this is Wanna Be Starting Something. I kind of get this one. I kind of get why people think it's this one, but it doesn't quite solve the puzzle for me. I don't really hear it. A little bit.
Kind of.
Same rhythm. A little bit.
When you play it back to back, it sounds more similar. But if I were to just think of the song,
Yeah.
not really.
It's a little more bouncy. It's not as like metal. Like The Weeknd has a more like metal sound to it. A lot of people also think it's Thriller. I kind of hear that.
I could listen to the whole song.
I
And
could
then try
too.
Sacrifice one more time.
That is actually
It's
pretty
more
similar. That's pretty similar.
It's almost like a combination of both.
Kind of, yeah. I think, you know what? There's a guitar at the end of Billie Jean that kind of sounds like that. Let me get to it. I kind of want to just listen to the whole thing. Hear that?
One more time. The beginning of Sacrifice.
Let me really get it in your head.
Yeah, they're like sisters.
Yeah. I kind of see the combination there. Okay, now I'm springing this on you. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm gonna play you something else that I found was pretty cool. Okay. It was this guy combined Sacrifice and Thriller into the same song. It actually sounds really good. Hang tight, everybody. All right, check this out.
I'm ready. I was like, oh, this sounds just like it.
It does.
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
It works, dude. It works pretty well.
Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but
Right? Let me get to the
Good song.
let me get to the chorus.
in your eyes, you're paralyzed. 'Cause this is dead night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's
That's good, dude.
night. You're fighting for your life inside of Canna, run up the night.
Okay, so that is by Jorma Mashup, Juorma Mashup on SoundCloud. Shout out you, dude. That was
Good work.
That was really good. So he had to pitch up the Sacrifice instrumental and pitch down Michael's vocals, but it worked it worked surprisingly well. You know what? Maybe he did. Maybe Sacrifice is directly inspired by Thriller.
Thriller?
Yeah, I hear it now. After that, yeah.
Which is really cool. He's very inspired by him, so it makes sense. But
Definitely, and I'm glad he is. I don't want humanity to ever forget about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Do you want to play the song that it's sampled from?
yes.
I think that's kind of interesting. So
Okay.
I shouldn't say we. I speculate a lot about what songs inspired different songs on Dawn FM, but we actually have a confirmed sample for Sacrifice.
Yes.
And it's actually, hearing the song that it's sampled from, it's really surprising what he did with it.
Yeah, it was almost like so subtle.
Yeah. Well, because the song that he sampled from is like, it's not a electronic poppy song. It's like a very old school piano riff, and The Weeknd just kind of did his thing, you know.
And it was still from the 80s.
Whew, excuse me, everybody. Sorry. First sneeze of the show. You're welcome. You got it there, Chief?
Yes. All right. So it's called I Want to Thank You.
Who's it by?
Alicia Myers?
By Alicia Myers. She just learned English. I can hear it.
Yeah.
I wanna thank you, Heavenly Father,
For your
shining your light on me. You sent me someone who really loves me, and
He did good with it. I think we're good. Yeah, no. Shout out Alicia Myers, providing the groundwork that eventually became Sacrifice. How else do you feel about it musically, instrumentally?
I think it's like one of those songs where, again, you could listen to it over and over again, and that part, I think it's called a bridge.
Bridge, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, there's a siren. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, no. I live next to the fire station.
Some idiot had to go catch on fire. It's
Or
so
something.
it's so selfish, honestly, to like want to be put out. Like, if you're on fire, like, someone could be recording a podcast and you're just gonna call.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Agree.
Yeah.
But let me play the portion that I'm talking about. I think it's called a bridge.
Go off, Queen.
No. That's okay. I said it's giving yesterday. So.
Yeah. Oh, that was Okay, we're even.
Yeah, I believe it's like 220
Yeah.
something.
I know what you're about to play.
I don't wanna sacrifice my time. Oh, baby, I hope you know that I try. Oh, baby,
Let's see if you can time the hay. Let's see if you can get it.
my time.
Hey, all right, that was good. Good job.
A friend is a friend to the end of the end. That's forever and
And which also I think those few lines summarize the entire song.
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah. Before we get into what he's talking about, I have to say, my favorite thing about the song, honestly, my favorite thing, is how he pronounces baby in that bridge. He doesn't say baby. He literally flips the vowels. Instead of saying baby, he says be-bay. He says, ooh, be-bay. And I fucking dig that, dude.
Better than yesterday, or not yesterday, but
what?
Better than the way he said baby at
Oh, when he refers to the girl as baby.
Yeah. And Take My Breath.
I would say I like it better than that, considering I hate that. So, hold on, can we play it back? Right?
I thought he was saying baby, but okay.
B-bay.
True. The hate gets me every time.
Every time, yeah. Totally erect right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to get into what he's trying to get at here with this one?
Yeah. So again, I think it's the crux of the portion that we just played a few times is basically the whole song.
Yeah. What's he
So
say?
he says, "I hope you know that I tried, and then I hope you know I love my time." Which
Yes.
is basically the whole song.
Agreed. Yeah. To me, the song basically is about him. He had to end a relationship with someone, girl, presumably. Could be a guy. I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say, really?
Yeah.
I think it's basically, it's just about him breaking off a relationship, saying he just doesn't have time for it. I think he says, I don't want to sacrifice for your love. I tried. I don't want to sacrifice, but I love my time. That's what you said. He also says,
He wants more of the night.
yes, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. But I sacrificed your love for more of the night. Yeah. So, and I tried to put up a fight, but you can't tie me down. Yeah. So he tried to fight his urge to want to be, I don't know, want to be single, want to just not be tied down, whatever. But it seems that his desires won. Which I don't know if I want to talk about this on the show, but I'll touch on it lightly. I get that.
Yeah, I think we've all been there where you feel like you're either pursuing a romantic relationship or you're pursuing your dreams. You've been caught in between.
Right. And I didn't really want to apply it to everyone else. I kind of wanted to just make it about me.
Yeah.
To make me
Leo.
feel special.
Yeah.
Right. But that's okay that you did that. I'll let it slide. But yeah, when I first heard this song, I was like, damn, because it was when I first heard this was right around the time that I got out of my most recent relationship. So it resonated with me pretty heavy. How do you think it ties into where we are with his character's journey in this album? So we left off with Take My Breath, and he had kind of been pulled back into his old ways by some thought.
Yeah. So, wait, what?
No, nothing. A
Thought
woman, fine woman.
O-U-G-H-T?
Not
or O-T?
O-T, but...
Okay. According to him, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, one of his homies. We talked, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, I think, the more that I think about this album, the more that I think it's almost him, looking at his... reflecting on his past actions and sins or however things worked out more than a linear in terms of character. So I don't necessarily think that this is talking about the person that he just interacted with.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the concept that he interacted with.
Yeah.
In Take My Breath.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is almost starting from the beginning. He broke off that toxic relationship that he had.
Yeah.
Before you go to... whatever happens in Gasoline, he's calling this person back later or doing those things. So
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so it's not necessarily in chronological order. He's just kind of reflecting on his actions and how he treated people just as a whole.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like after this, like, you know, after the bender and after he realizes all of his mistakes, he's starting from the beginning and, like,
Yeah.
kind of working through that.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Look, if you try to look at it too close, like from a literal, like linear perspective, I think you'll kind of wind up thinking like, oh, maybe this isn't that thematic. But if you take your approach, that it makes it all fit a little bit easier, I think. Yeah, it seems like he's just a very back and forth person. Like, he almost has like two sides of him. One side he has like a genuine love for whoever this girl is, or multiple girls or guys, as we discussed. But also he seems a little selfish. Not a little, like very selfish, very narcissistic, very like wanting to pursue just like pleasure. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think it's just interesting to watch his struggle with that. Because like you said, I think we can all relate to it.
Yeah. And this song specifically, again, it almost sounds like he... So I think, when I think of this album, he's like reflecting back on his past ways or, you know, just like processing what he did. And it's almost like he's reflecting on his trauma, and that's kind of the order that it comes in, is at first you're like blaming yourself or just realizing what's happening and then kind of working through it.
Right.
And at this point, it almost sounds like he's starting to reflect on like what brought him there. So like he says, he talks about like where he was born and basically like the environment that he was born in. And then he says, so this life's always with me. The ice inside my veins will never bleed. So he's really talking about how almost like that's the fabric of his being. And so this relationship he had to break off because of those tendencies that he
had like
developed.
Yeah, he had like kind of bred into him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it kind of gives context for his actions and his struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing past that yet.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. Do you think the music video contributes significantly at all to her eyes just lowered completely to half mast?
I don't know.
I almost didn't even see your pupils. They lowered so much. You don't like the music video? I
don't remember the last time that I watched it, but from what I do recall, I only watched it once.
Okay.
And I think the dancing was not even like when I thought he was going to be dancing or how I thought he was going to be dancing. Was he even dancing?
Are you telling me you didn't like the Red Clan members? Like just...
Yeah. Is there like a Red Clan member in Scarborough, Canada?
I don't know.
Do they have the clan there?
I bet if they do, they're only like very mildly racist. Like it's only like microaggressions. Yeah. You know? Like the most racist thing a Canadian clan member says is like, oh, well, those people do that.
And then they say sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know in the music video he's like tied, or he's like bound to some like metal ring thing.
Yeah, and it's like a bird's eye view, right?
For a lot of it, yeah. I don't know. We're probably missing some major key thematic contributor, but I don't know. We're kind of just talking about the music here, so.
Yeah, but no, I feel like, in short, no, I did not like the music video, and I don't know that it follows, at least what my perception of this song was.
Dude, can we just talk about how The Weeknd has the fucking worst music videos on planet Earth? On planet Earth.
I do like some of them, but some of them, to quickly touch on Starboy, most of those music videos reminded me of like the Goosebumps series by R.L. Stine. I think even the font.
Okay.
I don't know. These ones are significantly better. I think at After Hours, when he did Blinding Lights and Heartless, I know you don't like them. But I think he was starting
I like Heartless.
The music video?
Okay, here's the thing. I wish his music videos would just contribute. Like, I wish they would fit thematically with what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe I'm just a fucking idiot, or maybe he's too, like, brilliant for me. But as far as I can tell, they just, like, don't. And, like, I don't know. They're, like, they have a lot of, like, fuckboy tropes in them. Like... a lot of like quick zooms and like really like trendy like transitions and like a lot of drugs and like alcohol and shit, and it's like I feel like The Weeknd is deeper than that. Like he is deeper. He is deeper than that. He's better than that, and he makes these like fuckboy music videos, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just wish he would do better.
Yeah.
The biggest offense, at least that I'm aware of, is the music video for Too Late.
That was like a whole other. That was when I was like, should I cancel him? Because I'm pretty sure that was, and I don't know if we need to censor this out, but like necrophilia at the end.
It was necrophilia.
What the hell was that?
Dude, here's the thing. I literally don't even, like, that doesn't bother me. I think that's fine if it, like, fits with what's going on. But it, like, doesn't.
You think necrophilia is fine?
Dude, okay, well, don't, like, kink shame me.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, but it was very, like, Ed Kemper of him to be pulling that. Like, that was his only inspiration.
Yeah.
It was gross.
Hold
I don't
on,
know.
Someone's on fucking fire again. God. So rude.
I think one of the commonalities that I've seen in all of his music videos is like dancing and him dying.
He likes to, yeah. Have you seen that Twitter thing? Or that thing there was a tweet he made, Twitter thing, such a fucking boomer. He tweeted a picture of him, it's a behind the scenes picture of him watching a clip of the Take My Breath music video, and he's like smiling so hard, and it's like the caption was like, me watching myself get choked, and he's like cheesing. Veneer's just going crazy.
Veneers.
Yeah.
Veneers on 10.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, he likes to watch himself get fucked up. I think that's cool.
It's every music video that he's not only dying but being murdered.
Yeah, like In Your Eyes, gets his head cut off and then paraded around the dance floor.
That was a pretty good music video.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
That was creative.
Yeah, again, I don't really see how it applies to... And maybe it doesn't need to. Maybe everything doesn't need to fit thematically. I like that. I like when artists, like, tell a cohesive story through things. I don't know. Yeah,
and I think with this album, the thing is that, like you mentioned, he has the potential and ability to, and he didn't.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, Sacrifice music video. Neither of us really checked it out. Maybe we should have, but oh well. Do you want to move on?
From the song?
Yeah. Or do you want to?
Yeah, I think I kind of touched on everything it was mostly that line that sums up everything. Did you have anything else?
No, I agree. Yeah, he says, what's he say again?
I hope you know that I tried.
Yeah. Oh, God, that breaks my heart.
I hope you know I love my time.
Oh, my God, dude, yeah.
But he did try. Well, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but...
Just the concept of that, just like trying so hard to just, like, hold on to a relationship for someone, like, because you just love them so much, but, like, you literally, like, inside, like, cannot fight how much you want to just be on your own, just have your own time, like, do your own thing. Like, God, that's a terrible place to be. Yeah, that resonates with me.
Internally, not to make it like a selfish thing, but I think internally too, because you can't be there for another person when you're like struggling inside in that way. And I don't know, it just feels like it's just weird.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's move on.
Next.
I like that little ASMR there.
Thank you. Tale by Quincy, which is what I would argue to be an interlude.
Yes, I would say it's an interlude.
Okay. So there's not a notable transition.
Not a notable transition, really. I like how it starts off with a fart, kind of.
Like an artificial one, too.
Yeah.
That's it. Looking back now, I didn't know what it was supposed to be. And it's like raising kids, man. If you weren't raised, you don't know how to raise, you know? I just did the best thing I could with them because they know fucking well I loved them. But I did do the best I could. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't. I will never forget watching my mother get put in a straitjacket and taken out of my home when I was only 7 years old. She was diagnosed with dementia precox and put in a mental institution, leaving my daddy along with me and my little brother Lloyd. I later had an evil stepmother who further cemented the idea that I didn't need a mother. Growing up without one had long-lasting effects I didn't fully understand until much later in life. It bled into my relationships with family and those I had become romantically involved with. Whenever I got too close to the woman, I would cut her off. Part of that was vindictive and partially based on fear. But it was also totally subconscious. Looking back is a bitch, isn't it?
Good job. Okay, where do you want to start?
I think we should start with who Quincy is, just to kind of give a breakdown.
For sure, yeah.
And the fact that, so from the top, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We already know that The Weeknd is heavily inspired by him. He's referred to him, I think, a few times actually, but I can only think of the most recent example, where he talks about him in the King of the Fall song.
Yep.
And he's referring to his own success with his mentors, and he says, "Some young Quincy Jones, dark-skinned Michael Jackson."
Yeah.
Comparing it to that. So he's talking about essentially one of his favorite artists or his biggest inspiration, along with that artist's mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, and I'm definitely not the authority on this, because I'm 26 and Quincy Jones is 90, so there's a lot of old heads out there who obviously know a lot more than I do. But from my understanding, Quincy Jones is just like he's a music icon. He's been in the game. He's kind of a behind the scenes person who's been in the game literally since the 1950s, and he's worked with like every notable artist since then. He has, I think, the most Grammy. I want to say he has the most Grammys of all time. I think he has 80, or maybe it's Grammy nominations. I think he has the most Grammy nominations. I think it's 80, and I think he has like 20 something Grammys. So he's a very accomplished guy.
Wow.
Most notably like a music producer. He's worked with like Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, who he famously said were like shitty. Yeah, he had some interview where he it was like in 2018. He just like went on. It almost sounded like a deathbed interview. He just like revealed his raw thoughts on like every person he's ever worked with, and he said the Beatles suck. He said he like said that Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando. Do you know who either of those guys are? Okay, thank God. I'm gonna have to quit the podcast with you if you didn't. But he like revealed that they had like a secret gay relationship. I mean, he just went off.
He is 90 now, so he probably genuinely thought he was gonna...
Yeah, he's probably like, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Also, it took me a while to learn that his daughter is Rashida Jones from The Office and Parks and Rec. Office is better, but...
I don't know about all that.
Do we have to take a...
That's another podcast.
Okay, all right. Look out for our Office versus Parks and Rec podcast coming out next. I'd say most notably, Quincy Jones helped produce Michael Jackson's 3 biggest albums. Yeah. Yeah, which were
Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Mm-hmm. And at least from, I think what you found also was...
Yeah, so Michael Jackson basically at the time, like, hit up Quincy Jones like, hey, I'm looking for producers for my next album, like, give me some names. And he apparently gave him some, and, like, Michael wasn't too thrilled or thrillered, horrible joke, about them. And Quincy was like, well, fuck it, I'll just produce it for you. And the first one they made together was Off the Wall. It sold like 20 million copies, which at the time is like, I mean, now that's very impressive, but especially at the time, very impressive. Their next album was Thriller, like you said. I think that went on to sell 65 million copies, which I'm pretty sure became the highest selling album of all time.
Wow. And
then Bad was after that. And I think it did very well also. It sold like 45, 50, somewhere around there. Yeah. And so obviously, since The Weeknd is so inspired by Michael Jackson, he, I guess, sought out Quincy Jones in some regard. I think it's also really cool that he got him. So he got a Quincy interview to be a track on Dawn FM, because that's like, I mean, hardcore. He's like really paying tribute to Michael Jackson there, because on the Thriller album, like the last, like, there's several tracks towards the end that are just Quincy Jones interviews. Yeah, so The Weeknd really is like doing his due diligence there. Okay, so in like episode 1 of this show, I kind of talked about how like all the tracks on Dawn FM, I don't really know if they're necessarily like contributing thematically to the overall theme of the album, or if they're just kind of like non sequiturs and like cool little, snippets. And for the longest time, I could not find any meaning in A Tale by Quincy.
Yeah.
I could not find any meaning in it. And recently, I think I've kind of put it together. What are your thoughts on it? Like, what do you think it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't really, until I listened to this, to be honest, I didn't really know much about his upbringing or, like how he grew up, or really too much about his career, even in general. Mm-hmm. So especially not his personal life. But I think what was really interesting is that The Weeknd is so inspired by this man who also seems to have a similar upbringing to him. So he talks about, I mean, in this, he talks about essentially what a poor upbringing and then, quote unquote, poor upbringing and, like lacking in parental figures, or at least healthy parental figures even, affected him, and how it affected him in personal relationships or like romantic relationships. And I know in this he talks about how his mother was not present and that he had to grow up with his father, and I think for The Weeknd it was the other way around.
Really? Okay. He had his mom, but not his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was raised by his mom and his grandmother, and his dad was like, I don't know if he passed away or if he was just out of the picture.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. It echoes The Weeknd story a little bit. Yeah. And kind of like how in Sacrifice he starts off talking about like, I was born in a city where the winter. He was basically like laying the foundation, for his behavior. I feel like this is just a reinforcement of that sentiment. Like, yeah, this is why I act the way I do. I had a fucked up childhood.
And I think towards the end even, Quincy says something about part of that was, whenever I got too close to a woman, I would cut her off. And then specifically he says part of that was vindictive and partially based on fear, but it was also totally subconscious, which is like one of the last lines. Yep. Followed by looking back as a bitch, isn't it? Yeah. But I think that also summarizes the fact that, whoever this character is in this album is not looking back and realizing, like, a lot of the actions that he had were subconscious.
It fits perfectly. Yeah. It fits perfectly. Damn.
Did you have any other thoughts as you kept listening?
No, it's just, that last series of bars you mentioned, whenever I got too close to a woman, I would cut her off. But part of that was vindictive and partially based on fear, but it was also totally subconscious. And then, when he says looking back as a bitch, isn't it? It's like, damn. And then it goes right into the next song. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you want to discuss on this, or can we move on to the transition? I think we can move on. Okay. Yeah. Let's play like the tail end of Tale by Quincy to get so there's a pretty nice transition from Tale by Quincy to Out of Time. Which The Weeknd does not want people to forget. There was some tweet that like listed all the nice transitions on Dawn FM, and they left out that one, and he like added it. He like quoted the tweet and was like, and don't forget.
Out of Time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whenever I got too close to the woman, I would cut her off. Part of that was vindictive and partially based on fear. But it was also totally subconscious. Looking back is a bitch, isn't it?
don't you dare touch that dial. Because like the song says, you are out of time. You're almost there, but don't panic. There's still more music to come before you're completely engulfed in the blissful embrace of that little light you see in the distance. Soon you'll be healed, forgiven, and refreshed, free from all trauma, pain, guilt, and shame. You may even forget your own name. But before you dwell in that house forever, here's 30 minutes of easy listening to some slow tracks on 103.5 Dawn FM.
Okay. Wow. Out of time. I feel like this is the one you and I both were waiting to talk about. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but now I'm like blanking and I don't have anything to say.
No, come on. All right,
It's
well,
just like all feelings.
I can fill an hour. Yeah, it is hard with all the feelings that the song brings to like
Yeah.
process it. I can fill an hour though, so you can figure out what you want to say.
The only thing I'm obsessed with is the way he says the word little. Like
If you
little.
mess up just a little. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of got Michael Jackson syndrome where he talks kind of like a little boy.
Little.
Deedle.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, dude,
You can start, honestly.
I don't
Where do
e-
you want to start?
I don't know where I want to start. Okay, well, let's think back in January when we first heard this song.
Okay.
Like what our feelings were. My feelings were, firstly, I was like, damn, this is a beautiful, beautiful instrumental. Again, also very 80s. Major key. Very happy
Major
sounding song, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I know you were. Again, that's old hat to you. I like the synths. I like the drum. One thing, this is like, maybe this is a little weird, but one thing that like can make or break a song for me is if a song has a good snare drum to it. Snare drum is like, do you know what a snare is?
No
Okay.
idea.
Snare is like the main drum. Okay, so if there's a beat that goes do ch, the snare is the ch one.
Okay.
This, let me just be the first to say, Out of Time has a great snare drum, everybody. Okay? That's
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Out of Time has a great snare drum. They should make that a Grammy Award, honestly. Best snare. Out of Time would get it.
Best snare.
Yeah. Yeah, the instrumental altogether is beautiful. I like how they incorporated, I don't know what the guitar is called, but there's a very like quintessential 80s guitar in there. It is that plucking, guitar pluck you hear, that's like a quintessential 80s trope, which I like in this. I think he uses it very well. I would say his voice in this is like arguably at its best. Mm-hmm. I mean, the instrumental for this is not a Weeknd original. We can get into that, but I mean, damn, it feels like it was meant for his voice. Mm-hmm. I mean, damn, it is just like buttery smooth, dude. It sounds so nice. I mean, when we were listening to it just now, when we started listening, I was like, dude, I'm gonna cry. Like every time I hear this song. I mean, it sounds so beautiful, and it's also just like heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very, very moving song. I hate to say it, but like if there was one that could take the title of favorite song from How Do I Make You Love Me, it would be this one for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised that this isn't my favorite one. I just like How Do I Make You Love Me for some reason. But yeah, no, this one is a very, very close second. What do you think about it?
I just have so many... I remember when we were listening to this song and the first time that we listened through, I was so overwhelmed by the entire album at that point that everything was just like... I don't know, it was just so much and it only kept getting better.
Yeah.
So... But going off of what you said, it seemed like this was the first song that he wasn't like adjusting his voice, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
Which is why I think it sounded so good because, again, it sounded like it was made for him because he was using his natural voice.
Like register.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about it.
Okay.
what I am interested to hear is what he was pulling from, the other songs that he was pulling from.
The instrumental?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Nia likes to say that he sampled another song for Out of Time. I don't know if you can really call it a sample because he basically just made another song out of time. Like, just took the whole song pretty much. Do you want to play it?
Yeah, what was the original one called?
It is called Midnight Pretenders by Tomoko Aran. And Tomoko Aran, I'm pretty sure, is a Japanese artist from the 80s. So shout out you, Tomoko, for this beautiful instrumental that you and your team put together.
Yeah, we know you're listening.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, of course. Do you want to play it?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds very similar.
Maybe a little more than very similar. Maybe identical, I think would be the word. But either way, I mean, if I was Tomoko, I don't think I would be mad that he just, like, ripped my song. Yeah. I mean, because he did it, he did it such justice. I mean, damn. And, you know, he probably gained her some clout because he, like, made her song, you know, the instrumental of her song, rather, you know, kind of brought it to the mainstream in 2022. Yeah. I mean, this song is from, I don't know, the 80s, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 1983.
He really did his research with the 80s stuff.
He did, yeah. Him or someone on his team really, really did their homework, for sure. I love the album art for this, too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Do you want to get into what he's talking about here?
Of course. So, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, straight off the bat, he says, actually, I don't even know where to start with this song.
I think I have a good starting point.
Okay, I would like to hear it.
So I think it's interesting in Sacrifice, how he was talking about time and how he loves his time and he wants more for himself. And now he's saying he's out of time. And it's interesting because he, in Sacrifice, he was ending a relationship, and it seems now in Out of Time, he realized the error of his ways in ending that, and he wants this person back, but it's too late. She's with someone else, or she's moved on in some capacity, and now he wanted more time, but now he's out of it. I think that's kind of interesting.
So do you think this is a continuation of, like, he wanted his own time, so he ended the relationship? Then he says, the last few months, I've been working on me. So
I think it is, yeah.
This is like the in-between time. So he had the time to himself, but now he's out of time in the sense of she could only wait so long.
Yep. Isn't that heartbreaking?
Yeah, but that's also just, like, the complex nature of relationships, which is so strange. Because,
for sure.
Like, I don't think that it's that he didn't want her anymore. I mean, at least from what I'm understanding, whatever's happening here. It's that he needed more time to himself, but then you also have to take into account that there's another person with their whole own life and goals and stuff. So
yeah. No, yeah. Time waits for no man, as they say.
Yeah.
That was really, like, wise of me to like pull that quote out just now. Let's get into what he says a little bit. Okay,
There's so much trauma in my life.
Now, Nia's a little fucked up. She laughed. when we first heard that bar, she laughed at how
There's so much trauma. Yeah, it sounds terrible.
You don't like that?
The way he says it is, like, almost it's almost like, I don't know. You know, like, when you tell, it's like one of those situations where you tell, like, where you tell like a bare minimum guy or girl or they them
Uh-huh.
that like you're like, why is a dish like in the dishwasher, and they're like, you don't know what I've been through, like like that's what it sounded like to me.
Like, baby, can you please, you never do the dishes, can you please just do them? You don't know what I've been through, man.
Yeah.
Like, I would do the dishes if it was that easy, but man, my dad wasn't around. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
One of
Yeah.
those. Which, to be fair, I don't mean to undermine. We know from his past albums the amount of trauma and whatever, his upbringing and stuff
Right.
that he's been through. It's very valid. It's just the way that he sang it in the beginning.
So from a sonic perspective, you think it's funny?
That, and then...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, that, and then the fact that, like, in this... I don't know that I can contribute it to COVID, but I feel like a lot of people started using a lot of, like, psychological terms and, like, clinical terms when COVID started.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
okay.
it's because we're inside all day, so you were, like, introspecting or something, but...
Yeah.
I feel like trauma and like narcissism and all these, they're like buzzwords almost at a point. So the fact
For sure,
that
yeah.
he put the word trauma in there and saying it like that, it just almost seemed like a buzzword to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I see it more as like, I mean, Sacrifice and A Tale by Quincy, I think, are there, like we said, they're there to lay the foundation that he has had trauma in his life.
Yeah, serious trauma.
And this, it seems like he's really reflecting on that. He's like, look, the past few, it sounds almost like he like started going to therapy or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, the last few months I've been working on me, and he's it also kind of sounds like he could be leaving another voicemail for this girl. He's saying, last few months I've been working on me, and he's just like, God, there's so much trauma in my life. Like, almost like, I'm so sorry to have like let that affect how I treated you. I'm so sorry to like dump all that on you. He even says, I've been so cold to the ones who loved me. I look back now and I realize, like,
Sad.
I mean, yeah, it's very sad. It's very heartbreaking. I think it's like profound. I mean, the way he's realizing, how much he wronged this woman that he loves. And then he gets into, oh my God, dude, I'm going to start crying. He gets into...
Let it out. It's okay.
He gets into the bridge. He says, I remember when I held you. Oh my God. You begged me with your drowning eyes to stay. And I regret I didn't tell you. And now I can't keep you from loving him. You made up your mind. So she moved on to someone else. Yeah. God, this is just such a tragic, beautiful, just heart-wrenching song. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I love it. Say I love you, girl, but I'm out of time. Say I'm there for you, but I'm out of time. Say that I'll care for you, but I'm out of time.
And I'll love you like I should have loved you all the time.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Very sad. Yeah. If you mess up just a little, baby, you know my line. If you don't trust him a little, then come right back, girl, come right back. Dude, by the way, that line in the song sounds so good when he layers his vocals on top of each other. I love that part. Give me one chance, just a little, baby, I'll treat you right, and I'll love you. Yeah, you're what you were mentioning. And I'll love you like I should have loved you all the time. And then back into that bridge that I can't get into because it's going to make me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, just an amazing, tragic song. But yeah, I love it. It's very good. Oh, another thing I wanted to touch on top of the snare in the song that is so good, the double clap. You know what I mean? You made up your mind. Dude, so good. Should be a Grammy for that too.
Best double clap.
Best double clap for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on it?
No.
Okay.
I think you said it all.
If
It
you-
is just a tragic song, but
Yeah.
I do have a follow-up question. I think we were able to talk about it, but
Uh-huh.
just to kind of make it definitive or like a one-liner,
Yeah.
how do you think this fits into the theme or the character development of
Yeah, good
where
question.
we are in the album?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Yeah, okay. So I think this is where he starts to turn around.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the literal turning point. for like, yeah, I think this is it. This is the moment where he realizes that like his earthly ways are like, that's not the way to be. He definitely like hasn't found the way to be yet.
Yeah.
But this is the realization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's like starting to find his footing, at least in terms of, you know, I've been working on myself, et cetera, et cetera. But then how does that place me back into the relationships that I had, or building new relationships from there on out?
You know, it's like they say, the first step to fixing a problem is admitting that you have one.
Yeah.
And that was also very wise of me to say. I'm just kind of killing it with that today.
Right.
So yeah, he's just admitting that he has a problem, but unfortunately he's out of time.
Wait, yeah.
Can we, real quick, talk about the Japanese remix of this song?
Yes. Yes, we can.
I mean, do we have another hour to talk about the Japanese version?
Should we play it as our outro, or should we just talk about it?
We can play it as the outro, for sure. We'll
Okay.
treat the people to the whole song at the end. But let's just dig into it right now a little bit. So,
I don't mean to sound ignorant. I did not look up the translation. I don't know what the person is actually saying.
Me either. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Well, maybe. It's just like pleasing.
Well, I assume that he's saying the same thing as The Weeknd.
Okay.
That's just my assumption. Which is shocking. You would think I would know Japanese because I'm like very cultured and very like worldly and like, you know what I mean? But surprisingly, I don't know Japanese.
I mean to say I didn't make the effort to even Google the translation. But
okay, yeah.
What I do recall is when listening to this, I was like, is The Weeknd even a good artist? You know?
The Japanese version of Out of Time is very good. Yeah, her and I were both like, dude, is this better than the original? And I don't think it is, but
I guess not.
I guess not. But damn, it's really good. So the official title for this track is called Out of Time, and then parentheses Japanese version, and it's by Shane Orrock. Shane, Shayne, Orrock, Orok. And the cover art is a kind of like heartbroken looking anime boy. That's really the only way I can describe it. All right, let's play it real quick. Okay, real quick, I just have to say I love how he's speaking Japanese to the song, obviously. I love how he says Out of Time in English. Damn, that kid knows what he's doing. That is really good. Shout out Shane, bro. Damn. Holding
Good
it
job,
down.
Shane.
Holding it down in
Love
Japan.
you, Shane.
Yeah, for real. Let's get into Jim Carrey's little part at the end.
Yeah.
Is this the first we've heard from Jim Carrey since... When did we last hear from him?
The first track.
Is it since the first track? Okay, all right, yeah. So Jim Carrey, the host of Dawn FM, 103.5, tuning back in with us. Let's see what he says. Don't you dare touch that dial because, like the song says, you are out of time. kind of reminding the listener that that's cool that you're getting into this music and everything, but you're dead. You're on your way to your judgment. You're almost there, but don't panic. There's still more music to come before you're completely engulfed. Dude, this is so terrifying. There's still more music to come before you're completely engulfed in the blissful embrace of that little light you see in the distance.
One more time, you're completely engulfed by the little light you see in the distance.
That you're going to be completely engulfed by that. Like fire. Maybe that's what happened to those people out there that were calling
Oh my God.
911. What else does he say?
Soon you'll be healed, forgiven, and refreshed, free from all trauma, pain, guilt, and shame. Which I do think all 4 of those things were
Key factors.
touched on
Yes.
in the earlier songs. Free from all trauma, pain, guilt, and shame. You may even forget your own name, but before you dwell in that house forever, here's 30 minutes of easy listening, etc., etc. So he's going back into that radio
Yep.
theme.
What I kind of get stuck on when he says before you dwell in that house forever. Do you think he means anything by the word house, or do you think he's just kind of like being weird Jim Carrey?
I thought he was talking about heaven or hell or whatever the afterlife, or yeah, whatever that looks like.
But before you dwell in that house forever, it sounds to me like he's saying don't get caught up in the fact that you're gonna. So before that, he says, soon you'll be healed, forgiven, and fresh, free from all trauma, pain, guilt, and shame. You may even forget your name. You may even forget your own name. It sounds like he's saying, but before you get caught up in that, here's some music. But you think he's talking about...
It could mean both, but what I heard was that before you're basically there.
Yeah.
Here's a few more tracks.
Okay. I could see that too. I think he still sounds great as the Dawn FM radio host. Yeah.
What do you think? So, did you watch the music video for this?
Yes.
I think you did.
Yeah.
It was very cute.
It was cute.
But at the end, there was a reference to The Mask, right? The movie that Jim Carrey was in?
Yeah. So he puts a mask onto the Weeknd, or the Weeknd's character. So
Do you think that had any significance?
I want to say yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know, but I do like that. So Jim Carrey did an interview with some news channel, and the anchor woman asked him about that. She was like talking about the music video, and she was like, now that you're kind of in the twilight years of your career, and the Weeknd is obviously like very hot right now and kind of at or close to his peak, it's kind of interesting that you put the mask on him, like you almost kind of like pass the torch a little bit. And he seemed to agree with that. He seemed to kind of be like, yeah, that is kind of interesting. Almost like maybe that could be what this was about in the music video. I don't know, though. Again, I have a hard time...
Translating his music videos into...
I do, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You speculated that the whole reason he made this music video was so that he could go on a date with the girl in it.
100%.
Yeah.
The music video is like... They just did karaoke, which I know karaoke is very big in like Korean culture, and it's really big in Japanese culture, and I'm probably leaving out one other one, but I understand the theme, but it's like, what does she have to do with anything?
Yeah, right.
And Out of Time really does sound like a karaoke song, but
it's the perfect karaoke song. It's because it's a perfect duet song, even though it's not a duet. You could easily duet that with someone. Yeah, it's a great karaoke song.
But they were just having fun. There was no, like, he was out of time. There was no, like, breakup aspect. He didn't even... Maybe he did die at the end?
I don't know.
As usual. But it just... You didn't get any of that. It just seemed like they were cute and on a date.
Well, he's young The Weeknd. And then
Yeah.
we see old The Weeknd come and, like... I think he, like, takes him from his fun date with this girl. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I was smart enough to, like, understand what he's trying to say with that, but I'm not. So he definitely has a thing for Asian girls.
Yeah, and he touches on that in like Kissland and his earlier.
Got a
and in
sweet-
Starboy, he's
Got a sweet Asian chick. She go low main.
Yeah.
Yo, that's called motherfucking bars right there.
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was pretty sick. Yeah, he had an Asian girl also in the Blinding Lights music video. I'm pretty sure, right? She's like she's doing karaoke on stage or like singing or something.
And then a lot of his earlier albums, there's the same thing.
Yeah. Didn't he used to use like a lot of like Japanese text in his stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I never heard any of that stuff, so.
It's best you don't.
We're joking. We don't mean that.
Well, you've come a long way. And I think that's what matters.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else you want to get into, or you think that's it?
I think that's good for now. We talked about a lot of stuff today.
We did. We're at an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow. But we covered three tracks.
Yeah. So honestly, you're welcome, you know.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Should we go over our socials?
Yeah, okay, so here's our socials.
Watch us on YouTube, Less Than Zero FM, Instagram and Twitter, at Less Than Zero FM. Rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Bitch.
Yeah, so follow, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Tell us what you think things mean. Especially,
music videos.
Especially the music videos. But you know what, dude? People kind of go crazy speculating about the music videos.
I love it.
Dude.
It's like he obviously didn't do that, and it's like do you remember dissecting like books in English class?
Oh, like the curtains were red.
Yeah, and they're like, is Nick Carraway gay in like The Great Gatsby?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
right.
What does it have to do with anything? So
Obviously, yeah.
because love is love, but like
For sure.
obviously the author didn't care about any of that stuff.
No. Yeah. It's like that another famous Twitter thing or tweet. It's like in English class, in a book, the curtains are red. The English teacher goes like, you know, and by making these curtains red, the author was really trying to touch on, you know, the something about the times, and then the author chimes in. The author himself chimes in, and he's like, the curtains were just red. It has no meaning. That's what people do with the Weeknd's music videos.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember like, I can't remember what the song was. Maybe it was like Escape from LA or something off After Hours, and I was just scrolling through the comments about the music video, and like the agreed upon theory in the YouTube comment section was that The Weeknd joined the Illuminati and that he was just desperately trying to get out, and After Hours, the album, was basically his way of trying to secretly tell people, like, help me get out of the Illuminati. And
wasn't he allegedly doing that in his last 3 albums too?
I guess, I don't know, but that was like the consensus.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone seemed to think that. So.
Have you ever commented on a YouTube video?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, back in the day, when I was in like 7th grade, I was a horny little 7th grader. And I just typed in my middle school's name into YouTube. And I happened to see a video of some girls that were in the class above me. They posted a video of them doing some, like, dance. And I was like, oh, bro, I gotta shoot my shot. Like,
in the YouTube comment section?
In the YouTube comments, yes, sir.
A year younger?
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
my God.
I mean, dude, shooters gotta shoot, you know?
Yeah.
And so I commented, I mean, dude, like.
Sorry, you haven't even said it yet. Go ahead.
No, that is an appropriate reaction. I commented, "You girls sure can dance!" Exclamation mark, and surprisingly, like those girls didn't like flock to me the next day. But what was crazy is I realized later my dad approached me. And I had commented that from his YouTube account. My dad, who at the time was like a 40-year-old man, commented on some 8th grade girls dancing and said, "You girls sure can dance." So, yeah.
Did the school call your dad?
I think someone replied back to my dad, like, "You fucking creep. Like, what are you doing?"
Oh my God.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, that sounds like a mishap.
Yeah. So maybe don't shoot your shot in the YouTube comments is what we're trying to say here. And also maybe don't tell us your thoughts about the music videos because I don't want to.
I want to hear them.
You do?
You can
Okay.
close your eyes. I like to hear all the theories.
You hear comments or do you see them?
I like to hear the theories.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Reading the comments.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? Socials.
Socials,
Please
follow.
like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. 最近ずっと考えていたんだ baby 過去のトラウマを君に対して冷たい態度だった